Hi, this is Darren Lyle again. Still working on my project here. Yesterday, we worked on some of these products, cereal and soups over here, like that. Um, Today, I thought maybe I'd work on. I'm going to have to do a lot more of these, obviously. But today I thought I'd work on something over here. Let me open this up and make this bigger here. I think I'd like to work on some sort of a coffee soda counter. Someone pointed out that this is what these places usually have, some sort of coffee kind of thing. So I think I'd work on this today. Maybe work on these things. I've already found a few images that maybe I could use. And we'll see what we can come up with here. So let me go over to Google. And this is what I've found, just lots of commercial coffee machines. So I think something like this is what I'm interested in. These, because this looks a lot like, if I zoom in over here, this looks a lot like that. The problem is this is all blurry. So if I could get a better image here, work on this. Yeah, and I think that would do pretty well. This doesn't have, let me see. No, it doesn't have anything on top like this one does. So I don't think I'll use either of these. I think this is probably what I want. So let's maybe grab this and take it over to the reference images right here. It's not really a product, it's part of the environment, so maybe I'll just put it in here like that. Okay. So where is this going to go? That's the question. I'm going to see if I can run around here again. There we go. So if that's the main door and this is the counter where the clerk or whatever you call him is going to be, I'm thinking that coffee may be right in here, this empty place here. So I've got a couple of things over here, so I could just delete this. I don't want this. These are all just kind of temporary things to block out where things are going to go. So maybe I could just put it right in here. All right, so what if I took this counter and just duplicated it and just moved it over here. Here we go. Like this. Just kind of use this as a template or a counter for this area right here. Is it a little higher though? I think it may be a little higher. So I'm going to just grab this face and move it up just a bit like that. I don't need to be in textured mode. All right, so this is the general counter where it's going to go. Let's just assume that that's the case for now. These could be, I'm thinking these are going to be coolers, like for drinks and things. So maybe people could get milk and cream out of here. I don't know. And then a door over here and a door over here, maybe. Let's see. All right, so for now, I think I just want to make a little countertop here. I'll just extrude this up and let's just make a little countertop like that. Okay, so there's a very simple countertop. I'm going to put the origin to the geometry there. Now, let's think about these coffee machines. Let me bring that in. Where is it? Here it is. Let's bring that in. So let's work on this. To do that, I'm going to go to a new layer. And what first? Well, I guess more cubes here, huh? Because it's just a bunch of cubes. And then these things are going to be interesting. Let's try this. Okay, so first of all, cube. Let's get it on here. I'm going to move the origin to 3D cursor so I can scale up. All right, so let's scale it up. I'm looking at this back here now. That's what I'm doing. Something like that. This looks like it's a completely separate piece. So I'll just duplicate this. And let's scale it down. Now I don't need it to be in the bottom of the geometry. Here I want it in the middle. And let's maybe about like that. And then let's scale out. So we got that part. It still looks like it's too thick. Something like that. Okay. That needs to be big enough to house a coffee pot underneath there, like that. Okay. So we've got little things on top. Do I want to deal with that right now? As I've said before, I struggle with how much detail to put in these kinds of things, but I don't know. Today I'm kind of in the mood to do a little bit more detail than I should. I'm going to put this here, and it'll all go, I mean, you know, ultimately it'll need to be there. So let's just scale this down like this. I don't need the bottom of that. So I hope everyone's doing okay today, doing well. I'm here. It's kind of cold and cloudy and rainy, and I just want to take a nap. You know how that goes. And when I say cold, I mean like 50 degrees, so I shouldn't complain too much. All right, I'm going to grab this and put it right here, and it needs another little thing on top. So duplicate this and move it up, scale it in. So it's got just a little thing there, whatever that is. Oh, it's where you pour in the water. That's what it is. Okay. So how much do I want to work on this? How detailed do I want to be at this point in time? Well, here we go. Let's just go ahead and do this. And do that. Now I kind of want to delete that and do this again here. Feels like it's not big enough. There we go. Now I could take this top edge and bevel that. Could I do that? Let's try. Oh yeah. We don't need that many segments there. Okay, so that's okay. We could also smooth that, couldn't we? Yeah, look at that. I don't want it to do that quite yet. Now let's bring this up, scale it in, move it back. And that's probably all we need. Although I think what I'd like is just to take this. It looks like there's a little bit of an indentation. It also looks like there's a little bit of a an edge there, or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. Let me scale this in. There we go, and then I'll bring that down like that. Oop. Okay, and then I'll just grab this, give this another quick little tiny bevel like that. What did I just do? Oh, I brought everything back. I hit the tilde key. All right. So there we go. I mean, I could then smooth these. This one, of course, because it's got such a huge polygon there, I could take this, scale it in. No. S and X. Here we go. No, I don't want X. I want Y. That's what I want. Let's try that. So I could do that. I don't know. Something like that. Once again, I'm getting too much into the details, but that's okay. That's okay for now. All right, so there is that top part. And let me scroll through here and see how everybody's doing. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Hello from Bangladesh. Wow, what time is it there? Shouldn't you be in bed? Is it the middle of the night there? I use inset. Oh, that's true. Kaiser says I use inset whenever I remember to use it, and that's exactly my thing. It's like there's inset, and then yeah, I just never remember to use it. Block it all in, and then do a broad details pass, then a fine details pass. Yes, I agree. That's what I should do. Like, I know that, but I should also eat like fruits and vegetables. I should exercise, all those things. There are a lot of things that we should do, and I always struggle with what I should be doing. But you are correct. That is exactly the way I should be doing it. You know what? This thing right here looks a lot like this thing right there. Let me do this. Let me try this. I'm going to rotate this around the X, and then can I just plop it right in there? It shouldn't work, but sometimes it does. Let's try this. And, this isn't going to be prominent in the scene. It will probably be in the background, out of focus. Blah. And, yeah, so I'm not too concerned with the itsy bitsy details. I'm more concerned with just getting things in proportion and in the proper scale. So, okay, so let's see if now that we've got this there, this feels too small, this part here. So, what if I took all of these things and just moved them up like this? It feels like it should be more like this now, And that's kind of the way I work. If you haven't been able to tell, I do things how it feels. Sometimes I'll get out, I'll do the exact measurements, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just more fun to see how it feels. Okay, so now that's feeling a little better now. Okay, so maybe now it's time for me to actually create one of these things, an actual carafe or pitcher or pot or whatever you want to call it, which would require me to think. So how do these, is that a flat? No, it looks it looks flat here, but rounded there. Looks like we've got, it almost looks like I'd be well served to use a cylinder rather than a sphere. Yeah, why not? Let's try it. I'm going to go to a new layer and let's try this. I'm going to go to an orthographic and let's begin with the cylinder and let's just give it 16 sides. A triangle fan. No, I'm not even going to worry about any cap fills at this point in time. And let's just see what we can do with this. This could be interesting. I'm going to grab these and move them down. And what I'm going to do is try and just extrude up and get a general outline of it from here. Okay, so if I'm down here, and let's just do this. Let's just go up, scale this out. Maybe one more. Scale that out. Like this. Okay. Then let's, what I'm going to do is just extrude and scale to get that rim there. It's probably not that big, but that's okay. For now, at least. I'll probably want these to be in 2 different pieces, but once again, for now, I'll go ahead and make them all one piece. And okay, so here we go. Up. Scale it in just a bit. And okay, so let's say we're up to about here now. Now here's the interesting thing is it almost looks like this thing is off center just slightly. You see how it that makes it a little more interesting. I didn't even see that. If I had seen that, then I probably wouldn't do this with people watching me. Oh well, let's try this. All right, so what I'm going to do is go like this, and then, well, we could scale it in and then just pull it over like this. See how that works. Try that. And then this thing could probably, well, let me scale out just a bit like this to get that curve over on this side. And then this should come in. Well, the handle's going to be there, but still. All right, I'm going to move the cursor to here. Switch to 3D cursor with the period key and scale in the X this way. Like this. Is that right? Let's try that. Okay, so let me see how that works. Well, it's possible. That might work. All right, let's continue on up with this stuff here. So, gosh, that metal piece, that's interesting. Let's move it. I'm just going to move it straight up to about here. And then this angular piece, that's interesting too. This is actually kind of a cool thing to do because I'd never really seen actually looked at one of these things. So that let's now scale this out. I'm going to bring this up I'm going to rotate it. And let's move it down and like this. Is that too much? That may be too much. So let me scale it down just a little bit. And then rotate it. And then move it. Yeah. Something like that. Is that too much? Maybe a little bit too much, but that's okay. We'll continue on right now. Now this thing. That one's interesting. How about if we grab this, put a cursor there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is put a cube there and then extrude that out. Why not? Cube. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to have it be its own object. Okay. Now, let's scale this down until it fits right in there. Like that. Okay. And then, like this, I'm going to bring this out to about where it would be. Like this. It almost looks to me like we're going to need to move this straight up, but oh, okay, I can do that. All right, so then this is going to go straight down. That's too far. It does angle a bit, so something like this. Maybe. Okay. Now we need an extra edge to extrude this out. Like that. And you know what? I'll grab these and move these back just a hair. Like that. Now we can extrude this out. About like that. Move that like that, let's say. And then should be able to maybe grab this and just move it down like that, right? Let's try it. Extrude. And let's move it down about like this. Hey, look at there. All right, so that's pretty good. There's some things happening there that we probably don't need all of that, you know, all those curves and stuff, but we could just kind of play with it a little bit like this. And these kind of curve in just a bit. Oh, let's try this again. Maybe these curve in a hair. I didn't want to do that. There we go. And this guy up here could kind of go like that. All right. So that's interesting. That's not actually completely terrible. High praise, right? Okay. But what if we did this? So I think the whole thing is going to need subdivision surface modifiers. I think we're going to need to do that. And I think we're probably going to need to do a double-sided thing here. So let me actually grab this edge, and I want to split it. I forget what it is. Edge split. Oh, there is no shortcut key. All right, so we'll just split that. And now that should be one of those edges. All right, so I'm just going to drag that down so it's inside here. Actually, you know what? Let me just drag that straight down like that. Okay. So now those are two different parts to that object. Let's go ahead and add a subdivision surface modifier and see what happens. Who knows? So that's what happens. Okay. Smooth it. All right. So needs some work. Yes, it's true. But I think we're getting there. First of all, I think I'm going to make this edge a little bit more flat, like this. And maybe even add something. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's do this. There we go. And you're wondering, why is he going into all that detail? Once again. All right, let me add this. That kind of looks like it needs that in there. And it kind of looks like this needs that in here. And I'm going to need to probably put some sort of a metallic thing on there. I guess it should have a bottom. Why not? And let's merge these together at the center. Okay. Okay. So there's that. Now, let's add a subdivision surface modifier to this thing and see what happens. Is it just going to collapse? Yeah, pretty much. All right. So this, I'm not going to do all the little finger thingamajiggies in there. I don't need to do that. But I do need something like this. Let's extend this out. And let's do this. And this. What else? Is that too... Yeah, I kind of need... Slide this up a bit. There's this thing that's kind of protruding out. I don't really know that I care. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. Well, he speaks too soon. Let's try this. Is this just ridiculous? Yeah, that's kind of... I'm not a fan. Okay. What else does it need, do you think? Oh, why did I do that? Let's do this. I want to do this. No. You know, maybe I better go like this. There we go. That helps. All right. Maybe that's enough. Maybe I don't need too much more than that. Except I need a band right along here. So to do that, I'm going to take the subdivision surface off, grab this row, duplicate, scale, split it out. Oh, wait a minute. No, just P. Split that out. Now it's its own object. Now I could take this and grab these. I don't think they're that. Something like this. No. Scale, Shift Z. Move these. Let's do extrude, then scale, then bring this in like this. Okay. And then See how we're doing here. Yeah, that might work. Look at that. Let me split this out as its own object because we'll need to put a subdivision, no, solidify modifier on this guy. Let me isolate it. So let's try that. Let's put a solidify modifier on here. See what happens. Okay, even thickness. Let me see what happens here. So let's say it's about that thick. How about that? You know, why not? Let's try it. I'm going to apply it. Oh, it's not going to like it because it isn't at the top of the stack. Let me see what happens when we move it to the top of the stack. Yeah, it's kind of what I was afraid of. All right, you know what? I don't care. I want it to go here. And it's going to complain. Okay, so really I should make it thicker. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take it to the top of the stack, make it thicker, like that, and then apply that. And then I can come in here and go like this. Look at that. Now I don't need these down here because they're going to be inside. Faces. Get rid of those. Now let's bring everything else back. Hey, look at that. A coffee pot. All right, so I think everything has a subdivision surface modifier on it, so I can just combine all of these into one object, right? And move the origin down to 3D cursor. And there we go. So now let's take it and put it in our thingamajig here. You know, this thing, whatever we want to call this. Let's see how it works. It's a little big, so let's bring it down. How about that? Is that the right size? I feel like it needs to be a tiny bit smaller, like that. There we go. Then what we need is we need the bottom piece, right? So cube, scale, let's do this. So it's kind of like that. I mean, I'll pull everything up. Why don't I pull everything up now? If I'm going to do it, why not do it now? There. Nope. Grab this. There we go. Okay, so let's get that there. This now, how far out should it go? Should it be equal to that? Maybe right the same. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's move this in. Okay. All right. Well, I've been going here. How's everybody doing? Let me let's see. How you doing? I've kind of got into things here. You should solidify the teapot. Yes, I just did. In fact, you know, you may be right. I may need to solidify the bottom part too, because if the top's going to be glass and we can see into it, you may need to see the bottom. However, I could put like a black object like this inside, and it would just be coffee and you wouldn't be able to see through it. So maybe I don't need to solidify the bottom part. All right. So, okay, all right. So let's keep going here. This thing, ooh, that looks cool. It's like a multiple ring thing. All right, let's try that. So what if I took this and moved the cursor here, and now let's try kind of a similar thing that we just did, but with these things, with rings. So we'll begin with the cylinder again. 16 sides, no cap fill. That seems about right. Here, let's put this right here. Actually, I want it right in the center, right? Because it's got to drain out into this thing. So kind of like this. All right. Okay. So now there we go. So there's, let's say that's the top part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then how close is it? Not very close though. So let's do that. I'll do this. So there's 1. Let's do extrude and scale in just a bit. Pull down. They don't seem to be that. Like that, maybe. And this, okay. Is that right? It's hard to tell here. It's not great. All right, it's not great. I think this needs to come in a little bit more. Like that. I don't know why. I just feel like that needs to come in. All right. Let's close it up on the bottom now. Not sure what it would look like on the bottom. I don't think it matters since I don't think anybody's ever going to see it. I'll pull that down. And then we'll just go like this. I don't know. And then we'll just take that up. Yeah, we'll take this up. And then we'll just close it off up here. So extrude and merge. There we go. Okay, so now I think there's going to be a little plate or something up in there, right? Well, I could just pull this down, move the cursor there, create a cube, scale it. It needs to come out a little bit like that. A little bit more. Oops. This. We don't need that face on the top, do we? We don't need this. And let's just scale it out just a little bit, and then we'll just pull it right up in here and connect it to that right there. Okay, so now let's give it a subdivision surface modifier and play around with it. Here we go. So yeah, we're going to need a couple things here. Like so. Like that. And this. And this. Okay. Hey, look at that. Kind of looks like what we wanted. Kinda. And maybe one in here. Oop, there we go. All right, so that's good. Let's grab this. Kind of want to just add a subdivision surface modifier to that, so I can make that all the same. All the same object. Let's just go like this. Go like this. And go like this. There we go. Okay. So now we can take that whole thing, join it together, move it up, and there you go. Coffee pot, right? Getting there. Now we just need this thing. It looks like it's just an extrusion. It looks like it's just all one part there, all one piece, or well, not even an extrusion. I can just take it and, you know, move it over here like this. Something like this. And then, I don't know, move it like that. I guess it needs to be, does it need more room? Because maybe this piece needs more room, you know? Maybe it does. Or maybe this is too big. Well, let's solve our problem by going like this. There we go. Look at that. So then, do I want to take this whole thing and move it down a smidge? There. Okay, now let's try this again. Duplicate and move it over. Yeah, so that's a little bit better. Like that. Let's go with that, and then I'll move that here. And these things are just going to have to RZ turn like this. Okay, so there's that. Now we've got this thing right here. That just looks to me like just a good old cube. Or I could just take this. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just move it over. There we go. Hey, the pivot point is down at the bottom. Excellent. I can just scale it down like that. So it looks like it goes right about to there, maybe. Like that. And then this thing should go back there, right? So I don't know why I didn't just do it from here. Let's duplicate it, move it up, and go to the side view, move it back like that. There we go. All right, so coffee. Yeah. All right. Couple of other things that I think are going to be needed. I feel like this handle on the front, we need that. We might need something like these little guys up front. I don't know that I want to do this whole thing right here. That seems like work. Also, I might be able to move this back, and I might be able to maybe put a bevel on these things, you know. Let me save. So yeah, maybe I'll just put a bevel here and up front like this. Let's try that. Let me scale, apply the scale, go in and bevel this, and maybe I only need 2 for that. Yeah, that's kind of, that works. Maybe I need a bevel here. Why not put one there too, just in case. Well, I'll put one there too. Yeah, okay, so let's apply the scale for that. Bevel. That's the wrong thing to do. Control B. There we go. In edit mode. There we go. And this thing should have a few on them. So probably all the way around, I would say, like this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, let's get this one back here. All right, let's bevel those. There we go. Yeah, that works for me. This is the last thing I think we need to worry about here. This here, I feel like we can move that down just below here, and then we bevel that, and it'll kind of appear that it's two different. I think it'll kind of work like this. Let's try this. So this and this and this and this. I can't really, oh yeah, I guess we can see down there. Let's get these. Don't worry about that one. I don't need these edges on the back. I don't need those. No one's going to see the back. Okay, so let's try this. Bevel, bring them out. Let's do that. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we're getting close here. We need these little things on the bottom, don't we? Those look like little cylinders that these things are sitting on. So we're going to need to bring all of these up a smidge. There we go. And then we could, what could we do here? We could select this point right down here, move the cursor to it. Then we could bring in a cylinder and let's do a triangle fan. And then we don't need it down here. We can just get rid of it here. Right? Now we can scale in. Wait a minute. Let's try that again. Scale in just a little bit. Like this. In the Z. Let's go in and see how we're doing here. So it looks like these things stick up about that much, right? And then if we grabbed, let me grab these guys in here. I'm grabbing too many here. Get rid of these. Are we good? Okay. Now what I should do, I think, is just extrude and scale in, and then extrude and go, whoa, down, and then scale in a bit like that. Let's see how we're doing in here. And then, yeah, like that. Okay. Then we can just, once again, do some beveling here, like this. Or I could do a subdivision surface modifier. I don't think I need to. I don't know. I'll try this. Like that. Let's try that. See how that works. I'm not real happy with it because of the... Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Nope. Subdivision surface modifier so that it'll be a little smoother. These circular, round, cylindrical things really kind of need this. I just put a solidify on it, didn't I? Okay, don't do that. Subdivision surface. Here we go. Now let's just... actually, let me do this so we can see it. Okay, so now I like the curve out here. That's kind of is what happens here. And then yeah, I kind of like that. Let me see about this. pull that up like this. And then I just want to extrude, pull down a smidge, and then I want to pull in like that. So it just kind of feels like that. Yeah? Maybe? All right, so let's now take that and put it over here like this. And up here like this. Go to the side view and slide that over. That's a little big for that particular thing, isn't it? That kind of tells me that my thing here is a little bit too narrow. So what I can do maybe is scale it from here, SY. Let's try that. Like that. And then let's do this one as well. There. Okay. Save. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Save. Here. Okay. Yeah. So look. Coffee. So I haven't done these yet. Let me just try and do one of those real quick. Well, yeah, I don't want to do that right now. I think I want to just put this in. Let's put this in and see how it works. How big is this? Did I? All right, let me get everything all into one. M2. Let's get everything into layer 2, and then let's see how big this is. It's massive. Okay, so will it all scale properly if I do it like this? Yeah, it looks like it. Will it all move properly? Pretty much. All right, I may keep these as separate objects for now, although, you know what, I don't really need to. This whole thing, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hide these for just a moment, and then I'm going to select everything here and Control J that so it's all one object. Oh, it didn't work. Let me try that again. There we go. Can't do that because some of these have modifiers on them and some of them don't, so I can't do that. Well, I could, gosh, haven't done this in a while. Let me create an empty. And we'll call this, there it is, we'll call this coffee machine. And then I want to parent everything to that thing. Let's try this. There's that. Select that. Control P. Object. Now, if I select the coffee machine, everything goes along. Yeah, okay. So Alt H, let's bring these back. Let's also parent these to that empty as well. Right there. Control P. Object. Coffee machine. Look at that. All right, so that should work for me. All right, so let's bring it all back. And let's see if we can put it in place over here. Uh-oh. What did I do? I need to select that. Oh, I see what the problem is. The problem is I need to go back to median point. The origin was, the pivot point was at the 3D cursor, and it was freaking me out. So RZ90. There we go. Let's put it on the counter. I'm going to go like this. Now let's go here. Well, let's hide this thing. I don't want this thing in my way right now. All right, so coffee machine. Here you go. Oh, those are the those are my soup cans. I don't want those right now. And let's put this right on the counter right there, maybe a little bit higher because there'd be little things underneath there like that. And now, is that about right? Let's bring our little 6-foot template over. And let's see what we can see here. So is that about right? Would that be a little bit too much, a little bit too big, wouldn't it? Let's bring this down like that. That would seem almost right, maybe a little small. If that were a 6 feet guy, let me move that down a bit. Something like this. Pretty close, maybe? Yeah, something like that. All right, let me Shift F. There we go. So we're going to go outside. We're going to come into the store. We're going to say, hey, where's my coffee? I'm going to go around, and here's my coffee. All right. Hey, look at that. Well, that was kind of cool. There we go. So I think that's it for today. I hope that was okay. I didn't get a chance to take a look at the chat too much, but there's also something going on outside now. I don't know if they're cleaning the streets or what. Let's see. Anything? Yes, I will be texturing all of this. So we began. Let me unhide these things. So we began with doing a little of that over here. We got, soup cans, and we've got cereal. So we've begun playing with some of the textures. We'll be doing more as we go along. All right. Well, I thank you. I'm going to head out, but I plan to be here tomorrow, so I hope to see you. Have a good one, and take care.